Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Rafael Chacinas, known as El Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to a special edition because we got to say goodbye to 2025 and say hello to 2026. Yes, it is. Because it is the special New Year's Eve from Straight Outta Nation, because not only is a show dedicated to all the Raider fans, because it's only dedicated to Raider Nation motherfuckers, but also we can talk about NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, all in one place. Now you can hear me right now because I know this is the New Year's Eve, and before we can start the show, I just wanted to say thank you all the fans, thank you all the subscribers, and thank you all these amazing persons who helped me through and through between 2025. And I know 2026 could be that year that involves a lot of things more, but I don't think I'm gonna be around for the next year, which is 2026, because I understand between for that year could be the ending of Capitán Rafucho's YouTube. But besides that, people just wanted to hate me, love me, they just wanted to use or clout or anything else. But as a matter of fact, I still here because I know that I got talent. I know that I got intelligence. I know that I'm smarter, stronger. And some of those persons, they don't like me for what I do, for what I speak. I mean, what can I tell you about this right now? It's obviously between for all those years that I've been working up my ass off on being a content creator. And to be honest, right now, 4 years is not that really easy at all. Because I remember the first time that I was creating my first live stream, that was back in August 2021. And since then, I have a reputation to create something new for the community of YouTubers, influencers, and of course, content creators are different teams. And I understand that a lot of people that just love me for who I am, and of course, bring analytics, stats, and of course, a little positivity into this community because I know for a long time, because I was being honest. Yes, I was being honest. And of course, sometimes I go down with no filter. I would go like anything else. But you know what? The show must go on. And I'm not really sure if this year, 2026, could be the year of breakout. Well, another breakout because I know that it's going to be the 50th year as a content creator, but I don't know if it's going to be the last year of seeing me on these platforms, which is Instagram, ads, and YouTube. Because I know my podcast, The Combat Club, and of course, Straight Outta Nation, they're going to keep for at least one more year. Because, and that same time, when it comes to the age and of course, all the experience, I had to move on. I had to move on because I know I had to take care of the family, job, everything. And it's not that really easy at all. So I had to do whatever it takes. Yep. I know that I had to do whatever it takes. So let's get writing. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we got some comments right now. We have Robert Peñas in the building. Rafael, happy New Year's Eve. Also, we got Yandere say, happy New Year's Eve. Thank you very much. Although there's a lot of comments. Well, some of the comments that say, talking about Sit 7. Well, I'm not dealing with those trending when it comes to the youth because I'm not one of those persons who get involved with these new trends because I know that I know that I was born in the 90s, but I don't do that class of shit right now. So, anyway, sir. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show. There you go, right now. Of course, make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. And of course, you can follow me on different social media. Twitter is known as at Capitán Rafucho 93. And of course, on Instagram, Kick, and TikTok at Capitán Rafucho 93. And if you want to help and support this stream, this platform, you can make a donation by Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. All financial help is welcome. Yep, it is welcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's going to be like a short stream coming out there for 30, 40 minutes, but let's talk about what's next for Las Vegas Raiders. Because we all know that we just lost against New York Giants, but we are happy because we brought the number one spot of the NFL draft. Well, I know. Because I understand that we need to get in best with the new quarterback, new offensive line. Everyone's dying for a new quarterback. But I think some of the fans are getting crazy right now because check this out. One of those fans that say, would you trade the number one pick to Cleveland for Sanders and Cleveland first round pick? That I would just like, no. Nope. Not a chance because we're not going to waste the trade for the first pick because our priority is searching the best quarterback ever in the class of 2026, whether it's Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore. But no Diego Pavia. Please, for the love of God. I'd rather send to Diego Pavia to San Francisco 49ers, or maybe worst, Pittsburgh Steelers or Dallas Cowboys. But speaking about Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, and of course, Diego Pavia, here is one of the first topics that I need to talk about it. Why Dante Moore is the right choice for this franchise. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Higher ceiling. Higher ceiling is the major factor. Also, he had arm talent, throwing angles, because if you're a quarterback, if you can make play off the platform while dropping angles with enough college to back it up, you're going to be so much talented. Dante Moore could be like the top prospect come combine and pro day and the throwing angles. I think the higher ceiling, it has so much better than Mendoza, but it's not even close. His floor is much lower, but it's going to be like a serious battle. But they're not going to debate until we know the pick. But some people, they need to stop this, but that'll be a great thing for us to choose Dante Moore. Because some people, they game like the locker room over starting Geno Smith, but the reason to draft Dante Moore is because his ceiling is higher. Could be the answer. Because if we had the first overall pick, we're going to end it off for the second one, but, it's going to be real deal. The real, because John Spitz should really bad for given the choice for the head coach, but some people, they say, oh, there's no way out. But Dante Moore is day one ready. Why sending him for a lower ceiling for Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, Eden O'Connell? First, we need a quarterback, and then fits the offensive line of the offseason. It's going to be the franchise moving forward. Because if you had to look at Dante Moore's snap count in college, could be anything, could be not, but it's not that near that would know to be like a game ready at his first year, would know how to let the man marinate onto Tom Brady for a little. But also, I'm concerned that about his physical stature. He needs to bulk it up to bid to survive the NFL, because it's not going to be really easy. And everyone says that between for the 2026 is going to be so much bigger. It was supposed to be stacked between Nazameyer for LSU, Klubnik, Drew Allar for Penn State, Arch Manning, Nico Sellers. They all took it a step back. And there's no guarantee that it'll be better. Last year, everyone said for the way for the 2026 quarterback class. They became wrong, they became right. But it seems to recall going back for this year draft discussion how 2026 was in quarterback stack. If we take like a quarterback early, it's better to plan to start him. If Las Vegas Raiders can focus on the offensive line in free agency, there is no reason to run the rookie out early. I don't think the day one is going to be like the best way, but you can give this sometimes to gel and start a rookie around 5-8 weeks with the purpose of competing for a playoff spot. Regardless of what we do in the draft, I just wanted to see there is a plan. There is a plan. I mean, they're in doubt. There we go, Jonathan Studio to say, what will draft the quarterback number one and let him get his brains beat in? It will ruin it like the Texans did Derek Carr. We have only one competitive off lineman and he's 30 years old. It has been injured 2 years straight. That is right, Jonathan. That is right. That is right. I agree with that. Because if they want to draft him, he has to sit his rookie season through to this age and like a stars at college. They know about for the time for the college. I would think that a responsible approach with that quarterback that young and experienced. But between for like the case of, well, Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza, I mean, they have a better physical tools. It'll be like everything, but the only knock is limited experience. And we cannot see those guys in the playoffs because Moore had the spicy armor for sure. But I think Mendoza got the dog in him, which is for Georgia Bulldogs. I know the Georgia Bulldogs are going to face against Ohio State in the playoffs in the college football, but that's another story. But I guess that I had to do about it. But if they can make it, you better believe it. You better believe it right. Hey, how's it going, Adrian Reina? And of course, we got Gabriela Bracho. How's it going? Adrian Reina say, what's up, champ? Salute to you, to my brother, Adrian Reina, as known as the innovatable, the detail with the facts. But between for like Dante Moore, because I know that I was watching college football, and I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it is right now. Because to be honest, right now, between the comparison for Dante Moore, he really needs like to get prepared. He's in a great situation with Dan Lanning, but all those Oregon Duck fans that wanted to lose him. He has shown flashes of brilliance, but I would like to see more to invest a top 5. Because between for the comparison of Dante Moore and CJ Stroud, seems very accurate. He's got a great release, can make all the throws, good deep ball whenever he's needed. I mean, he's going to win games with his lads, but the only issue can be inconsistency with timing and quick game rhythm. In the right situation, I mean, if they want to do with the quarterback between for the right head coach, they're going to be happening a lot because this might be feel lofty, but the outside it feels like he looks like Eli Manning. All the accuracy and arm talent to put a ball anywhere on the field, but sometimes he's slow in the middle side of the game. I personally hope that he goes back to school to get a lot of things more. He improved at a time for the second half of the season, but I think he's gonna be like a going forward. But he could be a dual threat, but he needs to get improved. He's made more audible calls on the line and being able to pick apart for the so much better. Accuracy, timing, ball placement, he's been fantastic against man defense for the jump pretty much. And I really think it. But some fans that say, if we missed out to Mendoza, what we had to do, I know that there's a simple rule to end the nightmare. Take the quarterback for the first round. Lineman, all others. Every year going forward. I mean, we've been suffering enough for 20 years. 20 years of losing. And I think it's time to get anything. Imagine a lineman and quarterbacks, even a defense. Could be crazy, but it might work. If we need to keep drafting quarterback until you hit that one, you can't even ignore the position consistently and just hope that one day, we don't want to create another mistake. Because if you guys remember what happened to the first round pick, Jamarcus Russell, then months later, he became the worst. And all the fans that say Jamarcus Russell is a boss, and then years later, and I'm not lying about this, folks, because he gave it a bias to the young quarterbacks. But assume that I just watched Jamarcus Russell between for the interview, along with the advice for the young quarterbacks. He was saying, don't give up. But also, there is one thing to accomplishment and advice to the young quarterbacks. Don't leave without watching the film study. Everyone wants to watch the film study to get involved with the mentality, all right? So don't be stupid and watch the film study, all right? Just watch it, God damn it. Oh, man, look at the two of those right now. Sometimes I can be dropping fats, but at the same day, we can always agree or disagree. I mean, it really happens. It really happens a lot. So thank you, Jonathan Studios, to that comment. And of course, there goes for the other response right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I know there's gonna be like something really, oh, really weird, but also I just wanted to talk about the situation. And over for the last live streams that I just made it is always the same. Because why on earth, they want to trade Max Crosby? Because I know for a fact there is a lot of news that say that Max Crosby could be traded. It's not very good right now. So stop all these allegations. So stop all the clickbait shit. And look what Pete Carroll say about for the Max Crosby situation. Check this out.
Walking past, has everything kind of been settled with all that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Max has been amazing, and you know, I was right there with him, you know, fighting, you know, the decisions that came about. But when you're in the middle of it like he is, you ain't always going to be the clearest about you. You know, he's willing to put his body on the line no matter what, and he was willing to do that no matter what. And I admire the crap out of his approach and his vision. And so the fact that he had to process it and get through it is totally understandable to me.
So was the decision like a collaborative decision to shut him down, or was it just like doctors that shut him down? Who ultimately?
Well, yes, everything comes into play. The doctors had a big role in it, and the guy that will do surgery on him had a big, you know, they have a lot of impact because they've got to, you know, do the work to get him right again. So, but everybody contributes to that.
Great.
Even Pete Carroll is speaking up for the situation of Max Crosby. Even they just put an IG video during for that game, and he was practicing basketball and he was having fun with his daughter. I mean, what in the actual thought that they're thinking all those fans who wants to demand a trade for Max Crosby, even those beat writer reporters that just wanted to talk about the trade, but they don't have the real information about this right now. So I just wanted to tell you, stop those clickbait shits. It's poison. Because for the case of Max Crosby, he was needing a knee surgery. Doesn't mean he's a cripple. But it can mean like a 12 other dudes crashing into the small fortune of paid isn't something that really won, because Raiders had given this dude a lot of money. And I respect those opinions. And made like a free agent's decision based on them. And this can do 2 weeks pay vacation without causing unnecessary petty drama. But I understand that Max Crosby, he belongs to be here. He belongs to win. And if he needs a lot of rest for this knee injury, go ahead right now, because he wants to get prepared, getting stronger for another season. I know it's going to be like the same shit with Myles Garrett. He complains and then signs that a franchise cribbed contract, and then he talks mid-season how about the team that they needed the offense. I mean, signing the contract and taking the money, you don't have to do with the both ways, but to get the face off. But he's spending time with his dog and, of course, with the family. But I don't think that Max Crosby has like a diva tantrum or like the diva behavior coming up there or this childish behavior. Because I understand that he wasn't selfish. He wasn't selfish. Because I agree we're resting out for the season. The point is how you act as a captain of the team and a leader. I know the salary is going to be irrelevant and that it goes against some of the players. And nobody is about for the show. Nobody. Because I understand that Max Crosby, he became the heart and soul of the Raiders. And I love it's part of the team. But posting shit at damn near 30 to the social media, I mean, it's just like seeing a teenage girl is weird. I mean, what happened to the professionalism? What happened? Because it takes a lot of balls to say, hey, I know that I'm going nowhere because there are some offers and they captivate, but my only team to stay is Las Vegas Raiders. So that's what I think about it. That's what I think it. Hey, how's it going? I'm not bueno. What up, Ralph? There you go. Joining the studio to say, Benny Bixmore, a beat reporter, said on his podcast that Mask couldn't even get on the boss after the last game he played. They did the right thing, shutting him down. I mean, that could have happened because I know it's not throwing a tantrum. It is not a crybaby. And I see both sides of it. Crosby had to deal with a lot of shit, but also you can't be this bold, showing off it every time it doesn't get any way. But this is gonna be like a lack of professionalism. He put himself, the brand, to the maximum level, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's not risking being penalized, fined, or having draft picks, pulling it down for the diva stunt like this. I get this frustration. He just lost 2 games, had a chance to move himself for the record. Because we were a terrible team this year. Perhaps we have the worst record ever on the year, remembering like one season in the 60s, and of course, remember the 2006 season with, well, Art Shell, Lane Kiffin. Yeah, if you know what that means, right? But he needs to grow up and be the team leader. Expect him and worry less about for like the ego, because they need to take off the ego and, of course, be part of the solution, be part of the team. Because I understand the Mass Crosby represents us, represent us. And he's battling injuries every year. It is almost 30 years old, and he still have a reputation as a great player despite the lack constant great play. But he's not gonna have it like at a great time to snag a deal. No. So, and you telling me that he was upset because he's really pissed that he won't let him play, because he showed up leadership by embracing losing. Do you know that's anyone's money to stake the being shutting down? Because the only thing there's reported is the assumption opinion of that person who wrote the articles, but he show up a lot of leadership, but he needs to get involved with a lot of responsibility, discipline, everything. And whatever it takes, I think that between for the case of Max Crosby, he's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. He wants to ball out for another season. And don't be surprised at it at all, because if he wants to ball with all the new defensive linemen that we're going to have for the free agency, we're going to draft a quarterback in April. So what else is going to be? I mean, the new coaches, probably, because I just really hope that Max Crosby has a lot of opportunities to make it right. And he wants to win a Super Bowl with Las Vegas Raiders. That's his ultimate goal. His ultimate goal that never wants to get old. Never. Never. Never at all. All right. And off of this clickbait shit that about for the Max Crosby, because right now let's talk about very, very serious.
NANI?
Yep. Because besides for the game between Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs, who else is going to happen if Pete Carroll wants to get fired? Because there's a lot of rumors. If Pete Carroll is going to be fired after that game between Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs, there's going to be a lot of candidates who wants to put on the line to take the position that Pete Carroll left. And I just wanted to tell you, we need a defensive-minded coach so that eliminates, well, some of that doesn't have the great experience. Because to be honest right now, there's several coaches that I was like very impressed, but it seems like no, they don't have it as experience. Because check this out, because I know the image is not that really working it at all, but but to be honest, right now it seems like that image doesn't open it up right now. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna do because it happens all the year. It happens all the year, ladies and gentlemen. All it happens for the year. But check this out. There's several candidates who wants to put the position for Pete Carroll if Pete Carroll is fired after the game between Kansas City Chiefs versus Las Vegas Raiders. There are some candidates. Shane Station for the Indianapolis Colts. Kevin Stefanski for the Cleveland Browns. That's 2. Number 3 is Mike Tomlin for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike McDaniel for the Miami Dolphins. And also there is John Harbaugh for the Baltimore Ravens, as known as the brother of Jim Harbaugh. You know Jim Harbaugh, his favorite the Los Angeles Chargers. As we all know, Jim Harbaugh as Dustin's boyfriend. Yeah, because I just said it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Harbaugh is Dustin's boyfriend, and he gets a lot sucking his dick right now. Boss. Oh my god.
Hey, yo.
All right, so I'm gonna stop right now. Because I will not get really flamed about for the coach candidates, but some of those that I just named, these are good coaches. But I think we're clearly on the rebuild with the young coach situation. Because some of those fans, they just wanted to choose between Mike McDaniel or Steichen. Because they know about the guy who calls the own plays. And after seeing between for the Browns quarterback situation, some people didn't want to trust with Stefanski to make good decisions. If we already had a quarterback and a good defense, don't bring Mike Tomlin. Don't bring it on. Because I know this is going to be like something like a really worst. Really, but really worst at all. But between for the options, if they let it go, they will go with Stefanski. They will go with Stefanski, which is the coach for the Cleveland Browns, if you know what that means. Because he will choose plays over the every chance he gets. When a player gets half of it, takes the ball away from the runs and bullshit tricks with a third string tight end that never works. And the worst part, has the media apparatuses that spent the next week pounded the airways talking about how great of a decision it was the third string tight end fall for a third string. That should have shocked about it. But they stood under the podium and said they're limited Nick Chubb's carry because there are 7 rests for him. If they want to know what football Mac practice, let's go back to look at the Chubbs carrying on because they will personally. And the one thing that he can bring like 21st century incorporated organizational skills, and they cannot deny that he helped the appearance of the competition for organization. Whenever the people who bowl coach of the year and don't know how many more about football than you, me, or I, except because coach of the year 2023, maybe this is the worst thing happens to the Browns. They were a bad team play for the Power Puff schedule, and they only made for the playoffs because the Reds bailed the team after Stefanski plays over the players. And they got leading for the turnover of the 4th against the Colts. And he did the same thing against the 49ers when they missed a chip shot winning field goal. He let Joe Walsh make Miles irrelevant for 3 years, getting a lot for the most comical spaceships, the special teams to the cost of the team for 2 years in a row. Because if Pete gets fired after the Chiefs game, I'll doubt any great coach available in the cycle wants to come here. We don't have much on the turnover for the head coach. If Pete goes, Mark Davis will be paying like 5 coaches and 3 general managers just not to be here in Las Vegas, which is awful for a coach's perspective. Because check this out. We've been dealing with the Ben Johnson. where the coach ready to go down for the hardest road available, then the guy turned the situation around and take pride of it. We need a coach who wants to be here and right the ship, and I just don't see that the cycle. I'm not saying that we can't get an upgrade from Pete because I don't know will be upgrade compared with this done for the season, but I have no one in mind whether it comes to to be. Maybe Mike McDaniel any day could be a great coach of benching of Tua shows he won't take it or win failing vibes, but Stefanski, I don't think. But I rather to choose like some of those coaches that rather be between for like Brian DeBall, Robert Saleh. That'll be like a cultural clash between ego and of course the play calling. Could we do everything wrong? Could we do everything right? But if they are allowed to stay with the guarantee, they need to gotta go. Because we've been bulbing with a lot of the worst of line we'd ever see, because those guys are back off anything. There's nothing. Because I understand that while coaching is really the issue, we don't exactly the talent to the offensive line to make up for state in coaching. Because I know Forsythe and Kappa were the two worst rated offensive linemen in the 2024 season. And not only did they sign to the starter and stand up playing to rookies who actually have a chance to become good players. The nepotism of Brandon Carroll is inept to coach, giving all the boot. Send it to the guards. Send it to the, I don't know. Send them to the toilet right now. Just like Afakasi to say, put it in the bathroom. Put it in the bathroom right now. Oh my God. Well, Brandon to say, Rafael, happy New Year's Eve, Carnal. And of course, here's another comment to say, just retire, Pete, and take your kids with you. Yep. Just give it the boot right now. Just go. Just go. I mean, c'est la vie. Hasta la vista. Because that man already stole a season worth of salary coach because he did nothing to improve the line for the all season. Nothing. We don't have the talent. We have a very aging, very good line tackle, left tackle, and a pretty good guard who wants to play center. If you know that that means Jackson Powell Johnson. After that, we have a few traffic cones. So it turns out down to the Lions or the dump of the new coach. We also really need talent on the line. If we take it like a quarterback first round, we need to throw the back of the best lineman free agents. Probably at least like a third pick, and on the offensive line, that's gonna be my main concern. My main concern is that one. Because it's gonna be like a good prospect with a good coach. If we're gonna take him, they're gonna be ruined for his life if we don't fix our offensive line problems. And we deserve better. We deserve better. Because if you guys remember all around of those seasons that we've been through. Remember 2022? We just signed up Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, and they want exactly like copy and paste of the New England Patriots. And didn't work out. And then for the 2023, we just have like the interim head coach between Antonio Pierce. We just haven't like really enough. Then smoking cigars, riding on the Impala, and of course, having the great time. Yeah, because they almost get in there to the playoffs after we just lost against Indianapolis Colts in 31 December. That just became really worst at all. And of course, never forget about for the first time between Antonio Pierce as a head coach. He made a lot of mistakes. And some of the fans that say, oh, we love Antonio Pierce because I love he smokes, he got a locker room vibes. Also, he's riding Impala. But between for the experience as a first-time head coach, they just got himself for the boot. They just got from the bathroom. And then for the 2025, between Pete Carroll is inexperience of coaching. Never work. Never, never, never work at all. Just like never. Also, we got Pay Your Time is in the building. Salute to you. Also, we got TMGF. They say, hope you guys beat the Chiefs. Well, I'm not really sure about that, but yeah. But I just wanted to tell you, if we need something to compete, we had to do something, anything better. Because whose name is not on the list to possible coaches? Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. Yep. He got almost there to win a national championship until Ohio State won back in 2025, which is January. But he hasn't wanted to go to the NFL yet because after being offered, perhaps he's very comfortable to go for the Notre Dame. He's understanding with himself. I mean, also there is Sarkian still on the table. There is own play calling. Sorry, bless you. Then his own play calling on Texas A&M will be a work all over the scene and interesting on the level. Kirby Smart seems like a decent option. He has a good sense, he realistic interpretations, but he seems like a career college coach. He's at the top of the food chain of the billion dollar industry and getting 5 stars every time he farts. Oh man, that could have anything. Last cross, we close the videos of him shooting basketballs and jumping trampoline. He's nothing was wrong with him say. Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that. Also, we got King Collie right now. Salute to you, my brother. But the last thing that I just wanted to talk about for the coach situation. What happens when you're 17-4 coach is already the coach a below average line? He couldn't give his son the spanking and send him to the corner. But I think between for the nepotism of Pete Carroll, Brendan Carroll, all this in competition, but it comes to the fail. Instead, we're committed to excellence. We're committed to failure. I mean, that's happening. Had to do about it. But it was just like, there's just nothing really changed it at all. Also, our opinion to say, Mascot show videos jumping on the trampoline and playing basketball with his daughter. Yeah, that is right. Because I know that I was talking earlier about for the case of Max Crosby. So yes, indeed. But we need like a classic online coach. That's someone that's remove what they have for decades. And they save like a lot of time. And that person will be far like to be to about talent, figured it out the right way to utilize. And we can stay away from the nepotism because they shouldn't know because we have a lot of struggles. We all know the offensive line sucks, the run game sucks, game management sucks, and the quarterback has been terrible. You know what that means? Could be the last game for Pete Carroll. Could be anything because I know there's a lot of rumor to say that after the game between Kansas City Chiefs versus Las Vegas Raiders could be the last game for Pete Carroll. Because I know that Mark Davis is going to happen. Like all this craziness coming up there. They're going to say, we don't want it to fight up Pete Carroll. He wants to stay for another year. No, because what has been through with this mentality? Because I know that Mark Davis, the owner of Las Vegas Raiders, he was like, well, he was getting busy with this basketball team for WNBA, which is Las Vegas Aces. And of course, his hockey team, which is Golden Knights. For Las Vegas Raiders, he didn't give a shit. Because the only thing he can spend his own money is going to a bowl haircut and, of course, buying some PF Chang's. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that we all know. But trust me, that needs to go to change right now. That goes to the change. Because he was like always a concern about for the coach, because the offensive line coach is the most important position on the staff. A lot of times when teams fail, is because their offensive line is not up to the par. That is true. That is true. Because after what happened with the situation of Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, and of course, nepotism. Yep. Nepotism. They make Chip Kelly the highest paid offensive coordinator for the NFL and then force him to hire your son as an offensive line coach. The most important position as a line coach. How the things that are looking for, like, all around for the season? Probably yes, probably not. But it seems like they need to do something, anything better for the coaching. And of course, to improve the system. I mean, I'm not a magician, but they need to do something even better sooner or later. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining at this New Year's Eve special of Straight Outta Nation. And of course, after that, I'm gonna do like a preview of, well, the preview between Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs, probably after January 1st, because I know that I had to do with, well, some things with my family, because one of my family members got COVID. Yep. And I had to spend like I had to spend the New Year's Eve at home. Yeah, because I know that when it comes to COVID, it definitely is not very good. So I had to spend the New Year's Eve at home because I have plans to do with the New Year's Eve, going out with the friends and the family. But I just found out that one of my family members got COVID, and it's like, no, it's impossible. So I had to go to stay home right now, or now, until things are getting anything better. So thank you very much. And of course, I will see you there for another episode of Straight Outta Nation to my channel, Capitán Rafucho. So I hope you gotta stay here. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, 2026 could be a year, could be an important year for all the content creators, because I know that for me, it's gonna happen, because I don't know if I'm gonna retire or I'm going forward for the 2026. It all depends for the future. So thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. And of course, you can follow me on different social media. Twitter, as no it's at Capitán Rafucho. On Instagram, Kick, and TikTok, at Capitán Rafucho 93. And of course, you can make a donation if you want to help and support the stream, like Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. All financial help is welcome. So I know it's gonna be like a special, but thank you guys for having us on this episode of Straight Outta Nation, the only podcast that we can talk about Raiders, but not only about Raider Nation, motherfuckers, but also we can talk about NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, and between for the week of New Year's, I'm going to provide 2 games in one stream. One is going to be involved by the NBA game, and the other one is going to be an NFL game for the last week of the regular season. So you got to stay tuned for my channel. And of course, there will be surprises coming up there. So we don't know about it. All right, so guys, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. And of course, I will see you there in another episode. Saludos, hasta la vista, and Happy New Year, motherfuckers.